All right, we are live, or at least mostly live.
Kind of alive
I like to think we're live, but
and
yeah,
kicking.
just can't be sure at any given point. Welcome. It is Thursday, July 23rd, 2026, and we have survived the Ragbri apocalypse.
Register's annual Great Bike Ride across Nevada. I mean Iowa.
Well, for us, it was
For us,
local.
across
It
Nevada.
was it was a biggie.
It was a biggie.
It's we are, of course, Nevada, Iowa, live.
Right here on Main Street, Nevada, Iowa.
And we are actually live now.
Yes,
You can go to our Facebook page, Nevada, Iowa Live, and we're actually live. It's working like it's
it's
supposed to.
working like it's supposed to.
Yesterday was, well, we'll get to that.
Yes.
Uh, we
The view out the window is dramatically different
oh,
today
is it? Yeah.
than it was yesterday.
There's a beautiful, nice breeze blowing from the south down Main Street.
Yes.
So it's kind of like an air corridor where
Mm-hmm.
it's all blowing up this direction. But it's great to see the flags are nicely waving in the wind, very gentle flag waving breeze.
It's always a beautiful day in downtown Nevada. Today just happens to be,
It seems to be, doesn't it?
yeah,
And beautiful blue sky, light
yeah,
clouds around. It's if you're out today, I think it's supposed to be in the 80s today,
yeah.
mid to low 80s. But that's still really a fabulous day.
Fabulous day for July. Yes.
Yeah. And the bike riders are now on their way to Marshalltown, I think.
They
They
went to
were
Marshalltown
going to
yesterday.
Marshalltown on
Yep,
their way yesterday.
on their way yesterday.
Probably stayed the night there. And I can't imagine that. Now, I know that they stayed overnight in Boone, and then we got the day trip. We were the day trip
Right.
for this particular Ragbri ride. And so we got to see the best of them. And I've got to be honest with you. Uh, Cindy and I drove over to Ames later in the day, and I told her I want to drive back down Old Lincoln Way,
Hmm.
Old 30, and see if or what mess they may have
But see,
left along their way.
they didn't come on Lincoln Way.
They didn't.
No,
How'd they get into town then?
on S14.
Oh, well, that's why Lincoln Way was so clean.
Because Lincoln Way was so clean. They came in from the north.
Okay,
Yeah.
but well, that explains that. But obviously we came into town that way. And other than the few remaining people that were maybe, bus loads for support and spare parts and stuff like that, really you couldn't tell.
No,
They passed through.
I have a very distinct memory of when it came through back in, oh my goodness, somebody will correct
I think
me.
it was 18. I could be wrong.
Well, before then, I mean, so it
Oh,
would have been, I remember walking out of the door of Farm and Home getting ready to head home at 6 o'clock one night, and there were still stragglers that were coming up from Cambridge
yeah.
because Cambridge was
Oh,
the
the
stop before. So they'd spent the day, afternoon, well into the evening at Chris's Tap in Cambridge, and
that's
they were on
that's
their way.
right.
So imagine, I mean, I saw a number of cyclists pull up and get onto Lincoln Way in front of Farm and Home at like 6 o'clock, and they were heading to Marshalltown, and they were barely hanging on to their bicycles. And I thought, oh, that's going to be a long ride.
Yeah, it's well, I will, and we went ahead and went out east
Okay.
also. But I was surprised if you didn't know 40,000 bikers had just gone through there. I mean, it was clean.
It was
I
clean.
expected bottles and cans and bodies,
Bodies in the ditch.
heat stroke and stuff.
But
But
yesterday was a beautiful day, though.
it was a
Oh
gorgeous
my
day for these guys.
Yeah.
They were able to take the day off basically, or a large part of it.
Yeah.
And but we will again get back to
We'll get
that.
back to that.
Want to kind of recap the week a little bit. Of course, on Monday we had Mary, and
Yes.
the
Who has so generously given us the Sweet Dreams Mattress Center
home
studio. Yeah.
fabulous. So we love her to death for that.
What's the address here again?
1136 6th Street.
1136 6th Street, right on the
So
southwest corner of Main Street
and Lincoln
and
Way.
Lincoln Way.
So we had the broadcast out in front yesterday, right out in front of the store. So it was great for us.
Yeah.
The mayor did a wonderful thing for us, and we got a canopy and such. So Mary was not open yesterday because personally I can't see 40,000 bikers coming across an open mattress store
Yes.
and behaving.
And behave.
I don't see that. I don't think it's humanly
No,
possible.
probably not.
Sweaty, you've just ridden 10, 20, 30, 40 miles. And and all of a sudden you've got a store with
There's a
100
soft
beds in
place
it.
to lay down.
Yeah.
And funny that you would mention that because I know that there was a couple that stopped and talked to me about Boone, which was the night before. And a lot of people were saying that, I mean, there wasn't even a place, if you don't carry something with you to sit down on or lie down on,
Yeah.
you're looking for some place to sit or lie down.
Any place.
Any place. And evidently there wasn't a lot of that available.
It was funny because after we get everything toward Dodge City and are walking, the car was parked over on the Fifth Street on the parking lot over there,
Right.
but we were in the street. And as we're walking up on the east side of the street, I saw what looked to be a pair of legs laying on the ground, kind of going up on a milk crate. And it was going through my mind, I wonder if anybody noticed if I stole those mannequin legs, because I thought that would be a great joke. And we go over to our car and I look over, it wasn't a mannequin. It was real.
Somebody was laying underneath the car?
No, they were up
Or-
on the grass and there
okay.
was like a milk crate
Okay.
and the feet were propped up on it, but nothing was, I didn't see the upper extremities. And I thought, it's mannequin, and it wasn't.
It
It was real. So I think picking them up and taking them might have been a mistake if I'd done that. That's so it was just you mentioned, place to lay down, and I thought mannequins.
If
Wow.
I may digress, there's a story here.
Oh, please.
Years ago, there was a gentleman here in town, farmed. Some of you may know him. Buzz Lynn was his name, and his son Jerry still farms to the northwest of town. And Buzz and I used to pull shenanigans on each other with great regularity. And the capstone of the shenanigans was that he had left to go on a little vacation, and Carla had a mannequin head and a wig in the house. And I got hold of Jerry and I said, Jerry, while Buzz is gone, I need to get in the house. And of course, he was very skeptical, which, I totally understand. And this was before digital cameras and all of that. So we got into the house and took a full roll of film pictures of this mannequin head with long black hair peeking around the inside of his house, outside of the shower curtain, around the pool table, in the bedroom, out of the closet, all over the inside of the house. Got them developed. And when Buzz got back from his vacation, we put him in these little cards, sprayed him with foo-foo, and Carla would write on there, hey, Buzz, I was over at your house looking for you. And where were you? And so we started sending him to him in the mail.
I'm assuming he wasn't married.
His wife had passed away.
Oh, okay. All
Yes.
right.
Phyllis had passed away. And so he got him, and I waited, we'd send him to him every couple of days, and I was patiently waiting because I knew eventually he would come in and say something to me about it. Well, after he'd gotten 2 or 3 of them, he came into the store and he threw one down on the counter and says, you know anything about this? I opened it up and all I had to keep a straight face for the first one, No, Buzz, but say, she's really pretty. You better check into that. And then the second week he came in and did it again, and finally I couldn't keep a straight face and I had to tell him. But anyway, there's a good practical joke for you using a mannequin head if you want to have some fun.
Mike, it's a good thing we didn't know each other as kids.
Yeah, we'd be in
Yes,
trouble.
we'd be doing hard time, I'm sure. If,
I think so.
That's funny.
That's just good,
Jeez.
clean fun.
It is. I don't care who you are. That's just fun.
It is.
So Mary, of course, was in on Monday. Tuesday, we had Jessica and I'm sorry.
Who did we have?
I just drew
the Historical Society.
Yes, Jessica and Oh no, this is terrible. I'm so
Rhonda.
sorry, Rhonda. Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
Jessica
so
and Rhonda.
sorry.
Boy,
I
sorry,
just
Rhonda.
drew a blank there.
I had to spin a little bit.
Jessica and Rhonda in
Rhonda.
from the Historical
Yes,
Society, and they left us information and found out a lot of things we didn't
we
know.
did.
And there's so much going on there, and memberships are inexpensive.
Yes.
You can get your name put on pavers, bricks, and granite pavers. They need
They need
more active members.
Active members. Get some young blood into the Nevada.
Not that the older members aren't doing their fair share, because they are.
Yes.
The older members are
just need more participation.
Yeah, they just need more of them, you know.
And Steve, get up! Don't watch the baseball game. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna hear about that one.
Steve Myman, yes, you know, yeah, he's over there mowing all the time.
Yes.
You know, I love Steve. He gets over and mows. Haven't seen him at poker lately. Steve, get up for poker.
Get up.
Get up.
Stop watching all the baseball games.
But so we learned about that, and of course, yesterday.
Well, don't forget one other thing. Sunday afternoon, from 2 to 4, there's a music program out at the mansion,
yes,
Evergreen Lane, the June Bugs that are going to be running into the lights.
The lights, yes. Keep them away. Keep them away from the lights.
Away from the light. But go out to Evergreen Lane Sunday afternoon for a musical program and root beer floats.
Oh yeah. Now that's you know, and we talked on the show briefly about that. Root beer is made to be consumed from a mug.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something you should take from a bottle, because you're missing half the flavor.
Yeah, because it's aromatic.
Yeah, the flavoroids are actually olfactory as much, and so trust me, trust me on this. Just try it. Take a big inhale as you're gulping down a root beer, and I guarantee it'll taste better.
Yeah.
I guarantee. A lot of people don't know that.
And bring some extra cash with you, because I have volunteered to be walking around with a hat, taking donations. So, you know.
But you're going to keep your hat on, right? This is a separate hat.
This is a different hat that I'm going to bring. I'm going to bring, I think, one of Carla's designer hats.
Mike's got one of those perfect heads that got intended to be showed off.
But I keep it covered for your protection.
Yeah, because the sun, you know, there's that glare factor.
On days like today, when there's no clouds, it could be dangerous.
So, but it's really cool, everything they do out there. And of course, they've got the Dutton House, they've got the schoolhouse,
the Dyer Dollhouse,
they've got the carriage house, and the carriage houses are what you and I would call garages, but they were largely separate.
Or in other parts of the country, a garage.
A garage, yes, a garage.
A garage.
So
dialectually speaking.
Yes. Speaking as dialect, not as a derelict, as a dialect.
That's a dialect.
Okay. But so it's very cool. It's 11 acres out there. I didn't realize it was that large acreage-wise.
Yeah, it just blows my mind.
So,
it's that big.
And I'm so glad my parents didn't have that, because I'd have been mowing the lawn forever.
Oh, man.
But
speaking of forever, I mean, you're old enough, if you remember what mowing the lawn.
Oh, yeah.
Lawn equipment that we had back then.
Well, we actually had one of the rotary.
Yes, a push mower.
Push mower that had the rotary blades.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what I did too.
Yeah.
Oh, mercy. And I can remember there was a guy in the neighborhood that had adapted one of those and put a Briggs & Stratton motor on top of it. So that thing is open.
Oh, yes.
Spinning like crazy. And I thought, holy cow, that's a great place to lose a toe, a finger. I mean, think of how many times, I do this. You know, the new mowers have those safety handles on them. Which
the bales.
Absolutely despise. So I take a piece of twine and I tie it up there. And then I stop and I pick up a stick or pull a weed or something like that. Imagine doing that with one of those open.
No.
Now
though, to be fair, that's the best cut you'll ever get on grass.
Yes.
Because it's not like it's just hitting it and inertially breaking or cutting that off. This is actually like a pair of scissors, one against another blade.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it called? A love bar or something on a combine or something that does all the cutting. And you'll never get a finer cut
Absolutely correct.
from a sharp. Of course, there are a lot more blades to sharpen as well.
Yeah, yeah, and I didn't like that action either because you
So,
had to have this special tool that
yeah,
you went back and forth. But anyway,
yeah,
those were the old days.
yeah,
And which, why in the world did anybody invent mowing the lawn to begin with?
yeah. And I still can't understand the people that feed their lawn to make it grow faster, so they have to
Yes.
mow more often.
Yeah.
That's lost on me. That's counter to every lazy man's thought. So,
Years ago, somebody pulled, speaking of shenanigans again, somebody pulled a shenanigan on my sister Sue and tied a goat up to to the apple tree in her backyard, which at the, was across the street from where you live.
mhm.
So one morning she gets up and looks out into the backyard and there's a goat tied to the apple tree in the backyard. And I thought, that's a labor saving device right there.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want a dozen of them back there?
Yes. Just put up a
Uh,
fence and away you go.
how to raise your goats for fun and profit.
Yeah.
And we'll stay away from that. But it is, I mean, it's a beautiful area out there.
And you could advertise too. You could say, my kids are starting a lawn mowing business.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't say that with a straight
Got a
face.
half a dozen sheep.
I've
Now-
got kids.
Now, from what I understand, and correct me on this, for those of you out there, this goats are really pretty good
Mhm.
at keeping lawns down, but I understand sheep actually eat the roots and everything, and they'll pull it out of the ground.
I
Is that the
believe
same
that's
with
correct.
both?
No, I think
Or-
goats
Goats are,
don't do that.
yeah, they're looking for the tender grass, the tops.
And there's and I should know this before I even say it, but there is a business here in central Iowa that rents goats.
Yeah, for that purpose.
Yeah, I've seen them out at Robinson Acres, and they get used. They'll fence in an area,
Yeah,
and if an area has gotten overgrown with bad stuff,
Yeah.
little trees that have grown up, they'll tend to eat the rougher stuff.
Huh.
And I've seen goats out at Robinson Acres, and I know they use Story County Conservation has used them in other places, but they'll fence them in and they'll clean up an area.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Why not do it the natural way?
Yep.
Of course, you got to watch out for the little landmines they leave,
Yeah.
because what goes in comes out.
But it'll
So
rain.
yeah,
It'll rain.
and it's fertilizer.
Yeah,
That's self-fulfilling prophecy right there. The goats go out and they eat everything they can find, then they fertilize it, so it'll grow again, and they can do it all over
Yes.
again.
Yeah.
So it's and you say there's not a plan to the world. Come on. I love that stuff. And then of course, yesterday with
Yes.
RAGBRAI, we saw literally every shape, size, and color of human being in the world.
And bicycle. And the
Yeah.
one thing that I was looking for and I missed, but I did see a picture of it, was the guy who rode that big, tall,
Oh, the
what do you call it?
yeah, pen,
The giant one-wheel or bicycle.
yes, with the
Not
little
bicycle,
tiny little
tiny
back wheel
on
and
the
then a
back.
big,
Yeah.
huge wheel up front.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure how you'd get on it or off of it.
I don't either.
I
'Cause
suppose you'd have to have
someone help
almost
you.
a ladder
Yeah.
or a platform
Platform of
that
some
you could
kind.
get onto it from.
Yeah, it defies me, but maybe we need to look that up.
We should.
Yeah.
So any of you out there, take a look and see what there's a name for it. So see if you can get to our name of it.
And we had, let me back up. Who do you think was the most interesting person that we spoke with yesterday? Because we spoke with a number of
We did.
folks.
Well, we had a producer director from Las Vegas or from
Yep.
Los Angeles,
Los Angeles.
and he was very good. We had a
Yes.
doctor.
From Des Moines.
I would say the 80-year-old guy.
The 80-year-old gentleman.
If I were going to pick one,
Yes,
we
I
had-
was thinking the same
we had
thing.
a very tall 80-year-old who was very fit,
Yes,
and he had been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer
like
when he was 78,
Yes,
like 2 years ago.
years ago.
And he's out doing this whole thing,
Yeah.
and he's happy as a clam.
Oh my goodness, just
I mean,
and what an agreeable gentleman and
Nicest.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was kind of sharing his story about his cancer survival and how much it meant to him to be on the bike ride
Oh yeah,
and enjoying the community, the people that he was riding with. Everything about it, he was just a wonderful human being.
and that's it. I think he was just naturally a good human being. I mean, positive mental attitude. Now, I don't know, maybe this was a life-changing situation for him. Maybe he was very disagreeable before all of this happened, and then afterwards, which is common,
Yeah,
by the way. It's once you face a life-threatening and you face the reality of your mortality,
yeah,
it changes people. Now, some for the
it
better, some for the not so better.
yeah.
But I'll tell you what, he's the kind of guy I'd love to have as a grandfather for my children.
Oh, yes.
And talk about a can-do attitude.
Yeah. Great story. Great
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
Yeah. Glad that,
He'd have to be my favorite.
yeah, I'm glad that we had the opportunity to talk with him.
And
Um, and to a person, I think the worst rating. So Larry would ask, and you can see this on the video. Larry would ask everybody, "What's your experience been in Nevada on a 1 to 10 basis?"
yeah,
And I think the worst that Nevada got was an 8.
yeah, that's the lowest I heard.
Yeah,
An 8, and that was before they hit the bakery.
that was before they had the bakery.
So if they hit the bakery, I'm sure they'd be coming back a 9 or a 10.
Which
Uh,
just before I got here, Sue was telling me, by the way, that over at City Hall, she had gone over there, and there was a gentleman there from New Jersey. Now, we managed to talk to a couple of people from New
yes,
Jersey,
yeah,
so maybe it was the same people. But anyway, they had asked her where the bakery was, and she told them. And then a little bit later, they were going down there and happened to see the gentleman sitting out in front at the table having a pastry of some kind.
yeah.
And the guy singled Sue out and said, "Thank you so much. This is amazing."
Ah,
So completely unprompted,
yeah.
the report back, everybody that we heard from, the food up and down the
Oh,
street
yeah,
was
really.
phenomenal.
I didn't hear a single disparaging word
No,
anywhere from anybody we talked to. Some of them groused because the lines were too long
yeah.
at some of the food places, but there's a reason for
Which
that.
what would you expect with that many people all hungry,
Yeah.
at basically the same time?
And we talked to Paula yesterday from the bakery,
Hmm.
and we're kind of curious to, of course, they spent all day yesterday and all last night working on food to produce for today. And I think she said something around 1,600 donuts,
Donuts,
just donuts.
yeah, and
And
was it like 400 chicken salad
yeah, oh
sandwiches?
yeah, the chicken, and which is perfect for a Ragbri day.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not heavy, it's healthy,
yeah,
and it's a cold sandwich, so which people want on that. It was, like I say, it was really nothing but amazing.
yeah,
Um, and of course, we had Cindy go down and pick us up some goodies.
yes.
Uh,
We had what you smoking.
yes, we also had
Yeah.
What You Smoking, and I love What You Smoking, I really do. And I wouldn't expect to pay the same price at a food truck as I would, in the restaurant.
Right.
But they were very good,
Yeah.
and they were pulled pork sandwiches. And I think Jack down here, Jack's Beef Delight, Jack was down the street, and he does brisket sandwiches.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Sorry, Jack. I didn't
We've
know
had them
that.
before if we'd known. So, Jack, if you're out there, or Carol, cue us in. We'd love to know more about what you guys are doing, where you're doing it, and,
Yes.
and such as that.
Yeah, because I go by the car wash and I see the trailer,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
and forgive me because I haven't seen it active.
No,
So
it's like I say, cue us in on what you're doing, and if you have a day of the week you're going out there, or if you're going to be doing it next Monday, Tuesday, whatever,
somewhere.
come see us.
Yeah.
Get on the show. You can talk about it. Again, this is another opportunity that's missed so
Yeah.
frequently in Nevada.
Yeah. I see Jason around every once in a while, so maybe
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could
yeah.
literally put the bug in his ear. There we go. I haven't said that
They're
for a
the
while.
earwig again.
Yeah. But we could find out. It would be good. And I wasn't purposely ignoring you guys at all because I didn't know.
Yeah, I wished I had known because I always liked eating
Yeah.
with Jackie. He had some good food,
Yeah.
and so I miss him not being available that easily.
Correct.
And we could use a really good barbecue place in
We
here.
sure could. That's
So
interesting that you would mention that. But last night, very dear friend of mine, guy named Brian who lives out in California, used to live here in town. Every now and again, he calls me up, check in, how I'm doing, how can't even talk there. How you doing? Wanting to know what's happening in Nevada, et cetera. And he opened up a barbecue business um, in Southern California. It's been going on for about a year and a half. And you talk about a land office business. There was nobody in the area that was doing
right,
what he's doing, and they literally are just beating a path to his store.
yeah.
He can't sell it fast enough.
I miss mustards in Des Moines.
Yeah.
Mustards in Des Moines. At one time there were 5 of them,
Mm-hmm.
and I my office was down on Southwest Ninth.
Okay.
So there was a mustards near down there. And then there was another one downtown. There was one out in the Drake area or past the Drake
I went
area.
to the one at Drake.
Yeah. And their steak sandwiches,
Whatever happened to them?
they just eventually went out of
It
business. I
just
don't know if they just got tired or
yeah.
whatever, but they had a little bit of everything,
Yes.
and they did great. And that brings me to, I met a couple people down here yesterday. They were said, "Where can I get a steak sandwich?" I've
Mm-hmm.
heard, this, and I keep thinking of, I would love to go back and recreate Mustard's steak sandwich,
Sure.
because it was a ribeye or a flank, and that was grilled, seasoned, and on a hoagie bun, and they
Yep.
put mozzarella on it. And I loved those. Those were my favorite sandwich in the world. And Mustard's closed. So, if anybody has an idea, I think a place that serves really good steak sandwiches
Maybe across the street in the
over
old
here,
Journal office.
which, by the way, at 1133 6th Street, has a large space for rent
Space for rent
sign in it.
right in the front window.
And I think that would be a great place to put a smoker back there and get smoked meats, do the steak sandwiches and stuff like that. I'd be up here every day.
And it's a great idea. The only drawback, and Tom and I've talked to him about it. It may end up being too small of a place
It could be, it could limit.
some
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
some point in time, just because.
Well, Mustard's originally wasn't that big.
Yeah, you're right. It
Yeah.
wasn't.
Now the one out in West Des Moines was,
Yeah.
on the west side, but the one down on Southwest Ninth, that seated maybe 25, 30 people.
I have a very specific memory of the first time that I went to
Oh, yeah.
Mustard's. I mean, I got the steak sandwich just like you're talking about.
Uh,
It was right before my favorite old music, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, was playing down at Hoyt Sherman,
yeah.
and I'd gone down there to see them, and went over to Mustard's before the concert, and they asked me if I wanted green peppers on my sandwich,
Oh, yeah. You get anything on them.
and which I did, but in my mind I'm thinking regular green peppers, and I get my sandwich and I open it up, and there's these little tiny peppers on there, and I thought, well, now those are cute. you know, they're smaller than what I anticipated, but I didn't, boy, talk about naive at them. And I left them on there and I took a big healthy bite, and my face went into a 5 alarm fire because they were jalapenos, and
Always what happened to your face. Wonder
yeah,
about
that was
it.
caught on fire.
So that's why we have a face for radio.
Yes.
Both of us.
Yeah.
I had somebody tell me once my face looked like somebody tried to put out a fire on it with track shoes.
Oh,
So if you want to insult somebody, that's the
that
insult.
cuts to the quick, right
But
there.
no, I would love a place like that up here.
Yes.
That does, and it wasn't that expensive.
No.
It was affordable, and at least on the south side, they delivered a lot, or people
Mhm.
would come by and pick up the sandwiches, take them back to their offices and everything.
So there you are, Jack. There's your opening
Yeah.
right there, or somebody. I have had that very same thought.
And it would be toasted hoagies,
Yeah.
and you could get garlic on
Mhm.
it as well, and then the overlay of mozzarella,
Mhm.
medium rare. Oh, I miss that. Now I got to look for a place that has those now. I'm I brought that back. I hadn't thought of it for years
And
until
then
that.
somebody planted the seed in
Yeah.
yesterday and
Where can I get a good steak
steak
sandwich?
sandwich.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But and if they can do one like Mustard's, I'll even give you the recipe for it. I'll help you design it. Anything you need, just so I can get one once a week.
If we're missing out on finding something like that here in Nevada,
Yeah.
let us know because I certainly can't think of
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, um,
the bowling alley doesn't have something like that, do they? I don't think they have a
I
steak
don't think
sandwich.
so. Scott,
Maybe there's an
consider
avenue.
that, buddy.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, they
consider
what
that.
they have is really good. So, uh, don't
It's
don't pass up the opportunity.
it we're following up on it. So
Something like that.
you're missing a wonderful opportunity otherwise.
But boy, going back to I don't know, did you hear the actual count or rough count of how many people were in town
I
yesterday?
didn't. I saw the flyover,
Uh-huh.
but that was actually from Ames. That was somebody in Ames
That
that,
did.
that did the flyover with the drone and
Okay.
everything up here. So, and I saw it online.
Okay.
So I don't know if that was in one of Stephanie's, The Good, the Bad.
Okay.
And so if anybody has that number, again, we are live on Facebook on Nevada, Iowa Live,
Nevada,
oddly
Iowa.
enough. So we're actually living up to our name now. We want to thank our sponsors, of course, Sweet Dreams Mattress Center, who have brought us the Sweet Dreams studio, and
Beautiful window to look out of on Main Street, Nevada.
yeah, it is. And as I say, now again, there's a hair studio over there. I keep expecting somebody from the hair studio to say, "Hey, can I come on?" Nothing. Crickets. We've got Kelly's Property Management over there, and everybody knows Andy Kelly, especially if you've ever needed something done to your home, hardware store stuff. We've got
Andy's the guy to call.
Yeah, we've got Tom's Building, the Journal over there, which is for rent at this point in time. Myers Chiropractic. Now, they had chiropractors out yesterday,
Yeah, I heard about
at
that.
least two of them that I
Yeah.
know of,
Yeah.
that were offering, again, free. And I expected those tables to be full day in, day out. I really did. And the pictures I've got, the times I went by it, there was nobody on those tables.
Oh, boy, I would have thought that
Who wouldn't?
who wouldn't take
You know,
time for a good massage or
and it's laying
yeah,
down.
laying down after spending all that time on your bicycle.
Yeah. So
Or maybe you just wouldn't want to get up and say, "Oh, I'm done."
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I don't think I'm going to feel better than this, so I'm good.
Yeah.
And that was something Mike mentioned yesterday that I took to heart. He said the best way to practice for RAGBRAI is go sit on a post for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, an ugly
And
old wooden fence post.
yeah, just an old wooden fence post. Sit on that post for 6, 8 hours at a time. So it feels that way even from a Harley, and I've got a nice padded king queen seat on there. But you develop what's known as an iron tuchus. There's a different descriptor there, but
And such a wide variety of cycles that work through here. I think that I'm going to have to check out some kind of a recumbent because some of those that have, and I don't know what you actually call the seat. It looks more like a
chair.
yeah, like a chair.
It does look like a chair.
Like a hammock.
I've seen those. Yeah, yeah.
Some kind of a hammock to sit in and lean back on. But man, these guys, they were moving right along.
They were. Yeah, and it was amazing. Of course, good bearings and everything. I mean, the
Yeah.
quality is very important.
Yeah.
But there was a guy out here. I thought he had something electric because he took a couple pedals and it just coasted,
Yes.
for 20 feet
Mhm.
off of just a couple small pedals. They looked great.
Yes.
I could see something like that if I could get somebody with one of those, say, the slings that you can
It's
get in
a-
the medical centers to
lower
lower
you
you
down.
into it and
Yes.
pick you back up
Pull me
again.
out. Yeah.
But I'm sure there's a trick to it.
There has to be.
So it's if anybody knows, again, if you have pictures, send them. We'll put them up online. So there's a nice lady walking a dog. She looks just tremendously happy. If she's looking around for RAGBRAI, she won't see anything.
It was yesterday.
Yeah, and there's no sign of it today.
No.
It's
Hats off to the city crew.
yeah, oh
because,
yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing here that looks like we were invaded by 25 to 40,000 people.
Yeah, no, there's
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
Now there's an explanation. I kept talking about there was supposed to be over at the city thing over here, a replica, kind of an
of the Eiffel Tower.
Eiffel Tower
Yeah,
replica that was
shooting
spouting
off
water.
water and
And I checked with the mayor on that, and it was there. But apparently, this was something that the mayor's son, probably with some help from the mayor, I'm guessing, but they put it together with PVC tubing. And, the idea was, of course, you'd have a
water
fountain
spout
and
coming out of the
water
top.
spout. Yeah.
Yes.
And apparently somebody was leaning on it and it gave way. And at that point in time, the rest of it came kind of crashing down.
So next time we need to make the Leaning Tower of Pisa as opposed to the Eiffel.
And hope nobody leans
Yeah,
on it. Yes.
make it lean the other way.
Well, how do you RAGBRAI proof something?
Yeah, that's a good
You
question.
know, if you could do that, I think the world would be the path to your door, because that's, I don't know how you would do that and make it last through
That many people.
thousands of people leaning
Yes.
on it and looking at it, walking through
Yeah.
it.
Now,
And
around the corner here, they had hooked up another little kind of sprayer.
yes,
Uh,
yeah.
So there were places around where people could cool off.
Oh yeah.
if
Now
they
I'm
needed.
surprised though. I didn't see, maybe you did. I didn't see anybody coming through here soaked.
No, I didn't either.
I was expecting that. I
Yeah.
figured the first thing they'd do as they got into town would get soaked down well.
But it wasn't hot.
No, it was very nice
Yesterday
actually.
was as
70
tempered,
something, nice
yeah,
breeze.
as tempered of a day as you could ask for. I think the worst complaint that I heard of the ride yesterday was that there was a headwind.
Yeah, the day
Okay.
before actually, I
Yeah.
think they said coming out of Boone,
Yeah, coming out of a
there was a headwind.
yeah
And of course it's pretty flat between here and Boone,
between
except of course for the valley on the west
Yeah.
side, the Trestle Valley,
yes.
the river valley over there, the Boone. And so I could see all the fun in the world riding down that,
hmm
coasting, and then looking at the hill and going, I want to be back there.
Can we do this?
Yeah, can we do it? Give me a bus to get me back up there, and we're good. That's the only problem with downhill skiing. Unless you have a lift to get you back up there, it's a one-time thing.
Well, I think I would figure out a way to get one of those fans on the back of,
There you go.
those air fan, powered air fan things behind you. And then,
I've seen on smaller slopes,
okay,
they actually have a cable
okay,
that's attached at the top,
okay. So
and you hang on to it and it pulls you
pulls
back up the
up
hill.
again.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't need to be real complicated. It's basically a rope that
Also related
being
to the cycling idea and Boone, the one thing that I've been wanting to do and I can't seem to convince Carla will absolutely not want it with me. So if there's any takers out there that would like to go, I want to go over to the Boone and Scenic Valley Railroad,
Oh yeah.
and they have pedal cars that you can take and go over the high bridge.
Oh,
It's I can't think of what it's called now, but I've seen it. I've seen some videos on it. So I think it's a 4-place cart
huh?
that you pedal without any safety mechanisms around you whatsoever. You're just on this little cart pedaling
Yeah.
over across the high bridge over at the Boone and Scenic Valley Railroad. I would like to do that, but
It's really cool.
Carla's never done it. or
It's
won't do it with
well,
me.
we haven't done it on the bikes, but after 9/11, my agency was protecting the High Trestle
Oh,
Bridge
yeah.
over there.
Uh-huh.
Now they call it Kate Shelley. It's not. Kate Shelley is actually south of there, but
Right.
it's the highest twin trestle bridge in the world. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Over 200 trains a day
Go on
come and
that.
go through that, both
Wow.
directions.
Wow.
And of course, the ones going out are almost always empty
hmm
because they're going out to the coal mines in Colorado, Montana, and that area. And then the ones coming back are the thing. So I don't know how they do that. Now, the Boone Scenic Railroad that we had taken as a dinner, it's not a cruise, a dinner train, I
Dinner
guess.
train.
Yeah. uh, didn't go over the twin trestle, but we got to go up there,
Okay.
and it's tall, but according to the TSA or the not the TSA, but well, yeah, Department of Homeland Security. The Department of Homeland Security said it's not so much the cost of rebuilding it as it is having to reroute the trains, 200 trains a day,
Oh my goodness,
to a
yes.
different,
Yeah,
railroad, to a
yeah,
different rail system,
yeah.
and that would incredibly clog the transportation system of
I
these
can only
trains.
imagine.
So they'd have to go south and then down. But it is cool, and we were able to get up there and look down, and there's only grading beneath you as you go up there. I mean, there's some platforms
Hmm.
that are made in case you're caught up there, you can run to get out on the
And
side
get out on the
and
side.
get out of the way of the trains. But then you're going to get reported to the feds
What are you doing
anyhow.
there?
But yeah, so that was very cool.
Many, many years ago, I had gone on a hike with the Iowa Sierra Club, and they started from the Boone water treatment plant, walked along the Des Moines River and underneath that bridge,
Oh yeah,
and then came back around to McCoe's Park. And it
yeah.
was quite a long hike that one day, but we hiked underneath that bridge. And I, boy, it's really a perspective making event
Oh
when you're
yeah,
looking at it looking at from underneath.
yeah. Well, the tallest two trestle bridge on the in the world is saying something.
Hmm.
And like you say, when you're at the bottom of it or at the top,
Yeah.
and you look up at the sheer mass of that thing, I mean, it's there are higher trestles, but they're only single
Hmm.
tracks. But you look at this, and that's designed to carry
A lot of
a
weight.
lot of weight
Yeah.
and way up in the air.
Yeah. I
So
remember after 9/11, that there was discussion that that needed to be protected
yeah,
because of all the freight that goes through it.
and it was literally considered a terrorist target. So
Yeah.
was the USDA
In
National
Ames.
Animal Disease Lab.
Yeah.
We were called to protect them for a while,
Hmm.
and then there was a group there were sheep found in Virginia, I think, that had the mad cow disease. Only this is bovine and something
Encephalitis.
encephalitis,
Okay.
and then there was ovine,
Okay.
and these were sheep that had gotten the disease out there. And the only lab in the United States that had an incinerator large enough to burn those that would also destroy the virus was here. So it was funny because it left Virginia, and the government makes names for everything. But I think over there it was Operation Sheep Dip or something. And over here it was known as Operation Lamb Chop
What?
because everything was burned and incinerated over here.
Sheep dip to lamb chop.
Yeah, but they were worried that somebody might come over, and because getting those sheep loose in the
In the
environment
system.
over here,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
So it
So,
was educational.
and here we are wandering. Isn't there's another arm of the NADC that is off the coast of New Jersey?
Well, there was one,
Okay.
yeah, but it closed.
It
It
closed.
shut down.
Okay.
They had some of the staff from this one actually going out there to help transition and shut it down.
Okay. So this one
So,
is the only
as
known
far as I know of,
known one that we
yeah.
have. Okay.
And of course, you had to put it in the heartland of the country,
Yes.
but I guess it's equally accessible to the
Yeah.
Gulf, the
Yeah.
East Coast. But it was, and we also took care of some through the TSA, some of the food and beverage companies
Okay.
for the airlines,
Oh,
because they were worried that somebody's going to get into those and poison,
poison.
X
Oh
amount
my
of people.
goodness. Yeah.
So it was a lousy time to have to go through, but it was good to see that they were thinking ahead. At least there were plans,
Yeah.
and it was interesting to be a part of that.
I'm sure it
So
was. I'm sure it was.
uh,
There's people that lay awake at night
yeah,
thinking of too many evil things.
yeah, and the TSA was just being formed then. That
Yeah.
was what it was all about. And in Des Moines, they had a TSA recruiting and processing station, and we had agents protecting that as well. That the files and
Hmm.
these things. So it was made a lot of money.
Yeah.
It was a boon to a lot of agencies and companies, but it was also scary
Yeah.
because you're out there and you're thinking, I'm on
What
the
if?
front line.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
if
yeah,
this happened?
it's frontline stuff now. I didn't have people shooting at me, but thinking about there are people that would.
Yeah.
So, and
Or
hopefully it was the upgraded security that helped them decide against it.
did you find out, by the way, we had talked yesterday, and I did not find out, but we saw some gentlemen that were in wheelchairs and some that were on roller skates.
Yes,
And so my curiosity still stands if anybody knows, were these guys that were on wheelchairs,
a qualified yes
they
is what
were
I found out. Yeah, it's a qualified yes. They pick their routes. They don't go the whole route most of the time, but they will pick their routes between destinations.
okay,
And there were a lot of people that came up from Des Moines actually that did the Boone to Marshalltown
okay,
and then just went home,
okay.
which is
But
far enough.
that's still a long ways on a wheelchair.
It is. It
Wow.
is.
Or roller skates, either one.
Or a bike.
Yeah, or a
Yeah,
bike, but
especially if you're in my condition.
yeah,
But yeah, I had asked a couple people about it that, are quadriplegic or paraplegics,
yeah,
and they said, oh yeah, that's a real thing. Anywhere a bike goes, they want to go.
they want to go. Well,
And kudos.
yes, tremendous.
Absolutely kudos.
Yeah, they had to have just incredible upper body strength,
I'd hate to arm wrestle any of them.
the endurance to be able to do that.
Oh yeah, that's cardio, it's pulmonary,
Oh, my
that's
word.
upper body.
When I was a kid and had to spend a little bit of time on crutches, and I've seen people that are on crutches
Yeah.
for extended periods of time, or the wheelchairs. I mean, they just have incredible upper body strength and endurance.
Yeah, well, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately not all of them.
Yes, unfortunately.
And I related yesterday to you
Yeah.
the guy I worked for up at Clear Lake.
Yeah, that's right.
Don Boyer had polio as a kid, so his legs were pretty much useless.
Mhm.
And then he had the they call them Timmy crutches,
Yeah.
the aluminum
Mhm.
walking sticks. And the guy was this. You can't see what I'm doing here. Where are my hands? I can't. I've lost my hands. Anyway, huge shoulders.
Huge shoulders.
In a butch haircut, flat top haircut, and when you shook his hand, it was like shaking hands with a baseball mitt, with a catcher's mitt.
Yeah.
And incredibly strong. Just incredible because he'd spent his entire life on those crutches.
Yes.
And the legs were basically he'd swing them. They weren't walking. They would act as a post.
Yeah.
Basically. And I loved the guy. I really did. His name was Don Boyer. I interviewed with him, and in the interview, he's sitting behind a desk. You have no clue. He's just sitting behind a desk. And he's asked me a bunch of questions, and he takes his leg and flips it up over his shoulder.
Oh my.
And he's watching me, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like this. He says, does that bother you? I says, no. Can you do that with the other leg? He says, you're hired. Apparently, there are people that go queasy over something like that, but it was just
Well,
what a great individual.
I think I mentioned this before, but along the same lines, I remember a story about a serviceman. I think he had been in Vietnam in Des Moines because it was in the Des Moines Register, but he'd lost both of his legs and would visit his buddies in one of the bars downtown in Des Moines. But he had two sets of legs, two sets of prosthetic legs. One that made him tall and one that made him short. And he didn't drink, but he'd spend the afternoon at the bar and then he'd excuse himself and go out to his van and change his legs and come back either taller or shorter later in the afternoon. And I thought, that's my kind of guy.
Oh yeah, that guy should be my friend.
Yes.
I would love that.
Yeah. That's my sense of humor.
Well, those people are successes
Yes.
because they have the sense of humor. They can, they not only can take it, they dish it out
Yeah.
just as well. And you guys are my heroes. I mean that with all my heart.
You got to have a little self-deprecating humor. If you can't laugh at yourself,
then you shouldn't be laughing at others. So
that's absolutely true.
it's
Yeah.
we do want to kick in our sponsors right now. Of course, Sweet Dreams Mattress Center.
Right here, on Main Street in Nevada. So grateful that we had Mary here on Monday because
Oh
she
yeah,
informed us about all the things that she does and gave us a little family history too.
oh the history, yeah, the
Yeah.
the store of her business
Yeah.
of the building.
Yep, her grandparents
Yeah,
that started a bank down in Maxwell. I didn't know that. So
no, it's everybody's got a story to
yeah,
tell.
everybody's got a
It,
story to
it's
tell.
it's really amazing. The guy yesterday, the producer, the
Yes,
guy from
Los Angeles.
yeah, he kept asking a lot of questions, and which was cool. Like he was
Yes,
interviewing us
yes.
for something,
It was
and
reverse interview.
yes, but it was cool, because again, he has his stories and what
Mhm.
he does, and he's interested in hearing other people's stories.
I totally believe that when he gets back home, he's going to talk about his experience here in Nevada
I hope so.
in particular,
Yeah,
because we took the time to talk with him. Now, I'm not saying that other communities didn't, but I would venture a guess that when he gets back home, he's going to talk about it. And to focus on that one thing, I am so proud of our community because
yeah,
everything that I heard was positive. You guys just really went the extra mile. We heard from
yeah.
Mayor Condon about um, the money that they spent, what they got, and how everybody worked so hard together to
Right.
to produce this and pull it off. And to a person, when they were walking by, whether they interviewed us with us or not, they were, hey, thanks. This is a great. You guys know how to throw a bike party.
Everybody, yeah,
Everybody.
every single person that came by
Yes.
told us thanks for having us.
Yeah.
So because we'd ask, even if there are a lot of people that are shy, they don't want
Yeah.
to get on the camera necessarily, but there were a lot of people walking by that, Mike would yell, hey, where are you from? And
Yeah.
they'd move off to the side and tell us. And the first thing out of their mouths was, thank you for having us.
Yeah.
And that's a great feeling. Plus the the forepart of it before RagBri, I think was pretty well organized. I mean, they kept the town interruption to a minimum.
Yes.
And the aftermath was also very organized. We had state troopers in here.
Scooting people off.
Yes,
Yeah.
helping people decide it's time to
It's
go.
time to go.
It's
The
been great having
party's
you.
over.
Yeah. So the slow movers, the troopers, and the city police, and I owe an apology to Chief Brandeis. Sergeant Sismadia, Josh, had come up to me, and apparently I had mentioned at one time Chief Sismadia,
Yes.
and the chief noticed that and
You haven't
mentioned
gotten
it.
any tickets lately, have you?
I haven't.
No, so
So
all is well.
yeah. So, Chief, I'm sorry. Our chief is Chris Brandeis.
Yes.
Chief Chris Brandeis.
And obviously he was paying attention.
Yeah, so it's good to know.
Yeah, it's good to
And
know.
then, of course, Josh Sismedia was thankful for the promotion,
Yeah.
but it didn't get him any points, apparently. And it says, I wouldn't want to be chief. No. So Chief Brandeis, I apologize, but I couldn't think of a nicer guy that would, do well in that position.
So glad you've got a sense of humor.
Make him a lieutenant.
Yeah.
There you go. The best thing is being a lieutenant or being a detective.
Yes.
So make him a detective or something. But thank you for understanding, Chief. By the way, this goes out to Chief Brandeis. Would love to have you on the show.
Yes,
Come in and
we
tell
would.
us about your department. Tell us about your new hires. Tell us about, what you guys go through in training. Tell us about the problems you guys come up with. That's all very interesting stuff. The people would love to know.
They certainly would. I mean, and in particular, you can go back and look at the interview with Sheriff Paul Fitzgerald
Yeah.
and see the kind of information that he shared with us
Yeah,
county-wise and history-wise. So the same thing would apply to the
exactly.
Nevada City Police Department.
And of course, Chief Reynolds from the fire department was
Yes.
in here. And so, we've gotten to talk to the people, and I'd love to hear from the police department.
Yeah.
I think you guys have a story to tell. I think you're a good department. You're solid. I think we've got reasonably good retention for any small town department
Yeah.
in our size range. And so we'd love to have you in to just talk about it. And it doesn't have to be, every week or every month, but, once every few months. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. Because things do change.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there's always something the public needs to know.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one way of getting it out there, aside from the city's website and the city's Facebook page. We're just another source that people hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yes.
And it's always better
Yeah.
when
So
they can do that.
there's no surmisals or anything.
Yeah.
No assumptions.
The assumptions come to a minimum at that
Yeah,
point.
they sure do.
So also we want to talk about Bricktown Bakery, who we sent a lot of people to last week. And it was amazing how many people came up to us and said, I hear there's a bakery in town.
Yes, they did.
Where's the bakery?
It'd be interesting to hear from Paula. I'm sure they're just all of them both. They're not both.
Yeah.
All of it, because I saw a little video last night of all the people that were involved in bringing this up to date.
Yeah.
Yesterday. So I'm sure they're all exhausted.
Oh,
Very tired.
and kudos to the city again for the bands.
Yeah.
Instead of spending a fortune on one known band, they brought in some popular bands and had them on both ends of the street. It kept the cost down on that, made it duplicative. They were able to multiply, the audiences as they went up and down the street. The mayor also, the city also they made up the signs that were actually old campaign signs.
Reuse, reduce,
That
recycle.
they did away with, the signs. Instead of buying more,
Yes.
they just recycled, and they didn't have anybody's name on them or anything. They were just, it was peeled off and a new sticker put on. So it was recycled.
Yes.
And it was very nicely done and very, very economical of keeping it down. And I love that.
And there were people here too that were asking for, where's the giant bowling pin?
Yes.
And I didn't see that until last night.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't gone out that way. But yeah, the giant bowling pin is still in place on Lincoln Way today.
Yeah,
so
it's the largest bowling pin in Nevada.
Yes. That goes back to and you've been down Route 66. So,
oh yeah.
So maybe that needs to be, instead of the
on a map somewhere,
world's largest ball of string, or whatever
cheese
it is.
ball, name it.
Yes. Belly button lint collection.
Yes, Nevada's got the largest bowling pin in Nevada.
Yeah, I think that would be on Lincoln Highway.
It's wonderful the way they couched that, though. I mean, in Nevada.
In Nevada.
I'm the tallest kid in kindergarten.
Yes.
I think it's wonderful, and it's big.
It is big.
It is a big bowling pin.
So maybe to complement that, someone needs to get the largest bowling ball in Nevada.
Oh yeah, largest. Well, okay, and then try to make it, in a ratio with the bowling pin.
Yes.
That would be very cool. I don't know what you make it. I know how you'd get it from place to place. You just roll it.
Well, there used to be out at Harrington Park. There used to be this giant soccer ball.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was a giant soccer ball out there. Anybody know whatever happened to that? Maybe we could make that into the bowling ball.
Who was that football? Deflate Gate?
Oh,
somebody deflated the soccer ball? I don't know. But yeah, I mean,
so much for my ego, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, welcome to the club. Yeah. It's amazing though, the things that people can be proud of.
Yeah.
And just a little thing. The ice cream capital of the country is up in Lamar's, Iowa.
Yeah, we had a lady from Lamar's yesterday.
We did, yeah.
We did.
A family, actually.
Yes, a family from Lamar's.
And from let me see, from Kentucky, from New Jersey, several people from New Jersey,
number of people
from Louisiana.
Yes, Louisiana.
We met right off from Burma.
Yeah, there was
young lady from Burma. Who now lives in this country, but she didn't come here specifically for this. And then Utah, Los Angeles, San Diego.
There was just a wide cross section of folks, and even as interesting as that, a lot of people from Iowa, Des Moines,
Oh yeah.
Southern Iowa, that were doing this.
Yeah.
A lot of people that had said, "Hey, I've been in Nevada before, but you guys," and again, they were all complimentary. You guys are throwing a great party.
Yeah. Well, and the RAGBRAI is an Iowa thing.
It absolutely
This
is.
isn't, but it's national in scope.
It
All
is.
people from all over the country and other countries. Uh,
International in scope.
International, yeah. There were
Scotland.
Scotland, the Netherlands, New Zealand,
Yeah.
Australia. Um, I mean, literally other
You
countries.
know what I find interesting too, if you think about it, it wasn't, what was it, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago with the World Soccer Club,
Yeah.
and the comments that came out of, I saw a lot of interviews, positive interviews with the people, you know, things that we take for granted. You get free refills on your
Yeah.
soda,
Yeah.
you know. So people are viewing, my point is,
Yeah.
is that people are viewing America, our country, in a much more positive light
Yeah.
compared to what the news has been portraying.
Well, yeah, they would come in and say, this isn't what we were expecting.
No.
And I
And what
think,
a nice thing to
yeah.
say about
Well,
that.
yeah, it's not what they've been told.
Yeah.
And I think Iowa's the same way when it comes to the
Yes.
rest of the country. Iowa's completely different
Yeah.
than what people, because first of all, we have industry here. We have a lot of home offices for corporations in Iowa.
You
Uh,
were talking about that to somebody about Des Moines being the capital of the
it was,
insurance
yeah, one of I think the second or third largest insurance locations in the
locations.
country.
Yeah.
Also printing.
Yeah.
They were in the top 5 printing locations
hmm
in the country. Look magazine and
Look in life.
Life were both
Yeah.
made in Des Moines.
Yeah.
So, and printed in Des Moines. So there's
Home and garden.
Home and Garden. Yeah, it's amazing
hmm
how much Iowa really that people don't know about contribute.
That
And a lot more companies are coming here to put corporate offices here in
because
Kansas City
of the quality of life. Eh,
because of its geographic location.
right.
You
And
know,
putting on a face like Nevada put on yesterday
yeah,
just shows everybody exactly what we're talking about.
it makes you proud.
It sure does.
That this is our town.
Yeah.
So
I know I had some friends that had reached out to me, and some of the comments were, "Thanks, it was just like being there,"
yeah, yeah,
and they got to see downtown, which maybe they haven't seen for a while.
yeah, in a whole new light.
Yeah, in a
I
whole new
mean,
way.
it's Cindy's walking video. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, she walked all the way down Main Street here, and then all the way up to the other end, and then out both directions. And basically, just like people said, it's seeing it without having to be there.
Yeah.
We'd have loved to have had you,
Yes.
by the way, but it is. I mean, not everybody can get out, and especially with the parking. If you're not a walker, it's tough sometimes because we had to park like 2 blocks away, two and a half
Right.
blocks away, and I don't walk as well as I used to, but it was doable for me.
And even when you're talking about the parking, for those of you that haven't been to Nevada in a while, when they've redesigned the parking spaces on Main Street, it's much more spatial. I mean, I understand
Yeah,
there are less parking spots, but it's easier to park in.
yeah, yeah.
They've really done a very, very nice job of that.
Well, the downtown is wonderful. I mean, we've
Yeah.
got good sewers, the lines and everything.
Yeah.
Everything was rerun several years ago, and the buildings down here, even if they're not occupied at a specific moment in time, they're in good condition.
Yes, they are.
They're being renovated. They're being updated. The theater even has a department above it now,
hmm
which I think is great. I'm not sure how they take the bands coming in
Yeah.
because we had some bands in that
Shook the house.
yeah, when we had a band in, everybody in town got to hear it.
Yes.
But it was still, it's good to have, and that's revenue for them
Yeah.
coming in, and they're cool apartments up
Mhm.
there. This is above the Camelot Theater. Uh, the apartments upstairs have like 14-foot ceilings and those large
Oh my goodness.
glass windows.
It's been 50 years since um, I ran the projectors there,
Yeah,
and I remember being back in those apartments So I can't even imagine how they've changed.
It's got, yeah, there are pictures. If you go
Yeah.
to the Camelot Foundation,
Okay.
I believe you can see the pictures and everything that they've done, the renovations they've made up there. Inside the theater still looks pretty much the same,
Right.
you know, but that's okay because that's how it's looked for the last 100 years.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and seating is comfortable.
Hmm.
So there are some of the old theaters that still have the wooden chairs or the wooden, benches like pews, but
Any of
not
you
this one.
former Nevadans, by the way, if you have memories about the Camelot Theater, what it was like to go to the movie there when you were a kid,
Yeah.
post them and share them because it'd be nice to know. Great to hear some of those stories.
When we used to talk to people about it, or the media, or just people in general, you think about it. We went through the Second World War
Hmm.
there. We went through Korea, Vietnam, everything up past that point, just following construction, followed the First World War, and that's how people used to get their news. They were
Yes,
old movie
newsreels.
tone reels.
Yeah, it wasn't there was no internet, and Walter
Right.
Cronkite was a young man.
Yep.
He wasn't delivering news at 6 o'clock.
And television hadn't come about
Yeah.
yet. So while you could sit in front of a radio and listen to the news,
Hmm.
when you went to the theaters, they always had the movie tone news,
Yes.
and you actually got to see the news being made that they were filming. So that was cool. And the balcony is where many a young lad stole his first kiss
Yes.
or more, in the balcony of that old theater. And, people, like I say, were exposed to the world through that theater. And during our tenure there, uh, we'd have bet that it was haunted, so to speak, that there was a supernatural presence. And we had supernatural investigators come in and go through it. And we had our psychic Danny Lynn, who would come in and do reads there and everything. And she always loved it. But there were several things, and I'm not a big ghost freak about it, the supernatural, but there were things that happened in there that we had no clue as to how it could have been done.
Hmm.
Because inside the theater, if you've ever been there are no outside windows.
Correct.
It's pitch black in there, literally pitch black in there. And when you see lights moving around, in a perfectly dark room with no outside exposure, something inside you says,
Makes you
really?
wonder.
And it was,
And maybe you can address this because there was a question that I had. Back behind the screen, behind the stage, there's what used to be a dressing room or something down underneath,
yes, in the basement.
in the
That
basement.
was the dressing room when it was
Yes.
vaudeville and theater.
Well, I remember, and this would have been in the early 70s, there was myself and a couple other guys from high school that, we ran the projectors. But I remember going back, and I swear this is true, but I remember finding some kind of a tunnel of some kind back behind there that seemed like it went underneath the alleyway and may have even connected up over to the fairway. But we didn't get very far because we had flashlights.
Yeah.
And then once we started going back into them, the flashlights failed.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was kind of like, okay, I'm not going to go any further, and then I never went.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
Well, at one time, a lot of the buildings on here were all
All
connected under the
connected.
street. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this building, as a matter of fact, if you go out to the north side, and we talked to Mary about this,
Right.
if you go to the north side, you'll see windows this high off the ground. Well, those used to be full-sized windows, and
The
they
street level was lower.
raised the street levels
Mhm.
up and everything. So, but those tunnels used to be used, especially during World War II and the Cold War.
Oh.
Those would have been, bomb shelters.
Yeah. A
And
safety place.
yeah, and back then, after the Depression, the Great Depression hit, people didn't trust banks for a long time after
Right.
that. So in all of these buildings down here, or most of them, you'll find a vault in there,
Yeah.
or down in the basement, you'll find big safes
Hmm.
where they would keep everything. They would keep their money and merchandise and all that good stuff. and we found a safe in the basement over there.
Really?
Yeah, and got it open. It was empty.
Okay.
So we
So
weren't the
in the
first people.
basement where you would walk down the stairs behind the candy counter,
Uh huh.
there was a safe
Yeah.
down there. Why do I not remember that?
Well, you'd go down it, and
That
again,
narrow
at
stairway.
the stairway was put in actually for the theater.
Right.
Prior to that, under both stairwells, you have these grand stairwells going
Right.
up,
Right.
and you go down under those, and that's where the stairwells were,
Okay.
and there were bathrooms down there.
Yes, there were.
So you could go down
Scary
to that basement,
bathrooms.
and yeah, they were hard to keep clean. So Freely actually were the ones that put in the upstairs bathrooms.
Mhm.
But and then the area in the front was all concrete,
Right.
paved, and then you could go into under the auditorium itself, and that's all dirt.
Right.
And there were big concrete stands and I-beams holding everything up.
Yep, I
And
remember
on
that.
the south wall, it was all rock, put in the wall. That was
Okay.
part of the foundation. So it was, I mean, that was the original foundation down in there. So, and that used to be kind of a spooky area
Where was
because
the
that's where the
safe then?
safe was.
The safe
Yeah.
was back
Safe
in.
was under the auditorium, under
I
the thing.
see. I wandered back, maybe a quarter of the distance or a little bit further one
Uh-huh.
time again. But it tapers off
Yeah, oh yeah.
and it
The
gets,
floor comes
yeah, the
down.
floor comes down.
Yeah.
And I think I got back just a ways and I thought, nah, I mean, it was dark, and of course, I was doing investigating when I was the only one in the
Oh,
theater. And
yeah.
I'm going, maybe this isn't the best
Not a
place
good
for me to,
idea. No, it's every horror movie you have to have a partner.
Yes.
But yeah, and of course there's two things. A, the possibility it's haunted. B, you get claustrophobic because
Oh
as you
boy.
say, the ground's fairly narrow,
Yeah,
but the room goes down
it
and by the
does.
time you get to the end, you got about this much room,
Yeah.
between the ceiling and the dirt floor.
Yeah. I'm
Uh,
afraid that my teenage brain at the time was not liking that.
Well, it was an incredibly cool building because the orchestra pit that was down in front, it's not
Right.
covered up by a stage,
Right.
but there was an orchestra pit
Mhm.
there, and they had a Wurlitzer one organ.
Oh, so when there weren't talkies, they had a guy
Right.
that was playing the
They would either
organ.
play piano or play the organ.
Yeah.
And it was an old Wurlitzer one organ, and it was on a rising platform. The
Oh,
motor was still in the back in the back area
I
for
don't
it.
think I knew that.
Motor's this big
Yeah.
around and 400-volt type thing. And this Wurlitzer one could come popping up basically out of and into the orchestra pit. So, and that was very cool. And that organ is alive and well. We checked on it. It's in England. So
Really?
that original Wurlitzer one that came out of the theater is now alive and well somewhere in England.
So what's
So,
the story there?
well, after Talkies came out,
Yeah.
and in 1928-29
Right.
was when Talkies first started coming out,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't need it anymore. It
Right.
was an impingement really upon the space. So they decided to get rid of it, and somebody ended up they advertised it. And at that time, the East Coast particularly was the home of movies and
Right.
films and everything being made out
Right.
there. And they found somebody from Britain that wanted this organ, and it came all the way to Iowa.
That's pretty cool.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a very cool history to talk about.
Yeah.
Add to that, we went long today. Uh, Gee, what a
What a
surprise!
surprise. Sorry.
Just another side note about the theater. We lost staff because of the ghosts.
Interesting.
And we were filming a TV show, a segment for a TV show. And they'd come in and this was a big production. I mean, we had the downtown was closed off for the filming of this, and we had actors and trucks and equipment and everything, millions of dollars of equipment. And they're shooting this in the theater, and one of the directors had come back to me and during a break, and he said, "So anything interesting ever happened in here?" I said, "Oh, a few ghost stories." He said, "Oh, tell me." So I said, "Well, we've lost staff because our spotlight operators that were up on top during bands and entertainers in here, the seats downstairs rock. Everybody knows that, right? But the seats upstairs slide out and down. They
Right,
recline. They
right.
actually, to make it more comfortable because of the angle. And I said, well, we had one operator, he's up there, and he saw two chairs rocking upstairs with the music. They don't rock,
No,
but these were. These were rocking like somebody was sitting in them doing this.
interesting.
And that became complicated when we were out front. This happened to be my granddaughter's boyfriend who was working up there for us. And we'd sent him into the back room to get a ladder, I think. And I was at the ticket counter. My wife and my granddaughter were over in the concession area. And we all heard it. And it went, excuse me. Nobody thought anything of it. I mean, it was one of those things. It's just, okay, people burp, excuse themselves. So all of a sudden, Jonah comes running up from the back. He's white as a sheet. He says, "Did you guys hear that?" I said, "Hear what?" Somebody burped and excused themselves right next to me. Now, he's in the back of the theater. You know where that back room is, back
Yes.
behind the screen.
Yeah.
And Cindy said, "Larry did that." And I went, "No, I didn't do it." And she went, "What?" I said, "That wasn't
It
me."
happened back there, and you could hear it clear up in front.
Or it happened up here and you could hear it
Yeah,
back there. I don't know
there.
which it was. I really don't.
That's interesting.
Jonah wouldn't go back there. He wouldn't go back and get the ladder, wouldn't go back again, wouldn't go up to run the spotlights anymore. And we've had others that have just had, odd things. So I told the director about this, right? And he says, "Do you think they'll do it for us?" And I says, "Well, it's been the history that they don't perform on command. But I says, we can give it a try." So everybody was on break and I turned on some music, turned it up a little bit. And over in the right-hand side of the middle row, a couple of chairs started doing this. And they've got cameras out there looking at this stuff, and everybody's standing around watching it. And I shut off the music and the rocking stopped.
Interesting.
So, I mean, they do, and they've made other appearances and done things that I have no explanation for.
The only thing that ever happened to me, and this would be more natural, was that there were bats.
Yeah.
And they would fly around up. I was always afraid that they were going to come in the projection booth through the holes.
Through the holes,
where
yeah.
the lens stuck through, because I'd see him out there and I'm going, what am I going to do if a bat comes in here, Anyway, that was kind of the only,
Chris Clark had mentioned the same thing. Apparently, he in his youth
yeah,
had also,
experienced the bats.
experienced the bats
were
or-
kind of a common occurrence.
and this is, you remember Rob that owned the
Oh, yeah.
place. This was a state senator or a state representative.
Yeah.
But when we bought it, Rob had come in. He says, "Have you met the ghosts?" And I said, "Oh, come on. You met them?" "Well," he says, "I did." He says, "I was in here by myself. Yeah, this place was all locked up." And he says, "I was on the stairs painting the wall on the stairwell." And he says, "I kept getting the feeling that something was watching me." He says, "Just a hair on the back of your neck."
Mhm.
So he said, "Look, if you're just going to stand there watching me, grab a brush and help paint." All of a sudden, he said he felt a wind come from the theater side, come past him, literally blowing, and the front doors, all three of them, started shaking. They were locked. This is coming from Rob, who, by the way, works in a funeral home now. He says, "I was in there long enough to put the lid on the paint."
And leave.
And he says, "and leave." He says, "I never did it alone after dark after that." Now you can still tell where he left off, by the way. It's been painted over, but they're two different shades.
Interesting story,
And
Rob
that
Bacon.
so that comes from Rob Bacon.
Oh my goodness.
And if it can spook him, and again, we've had other things that were just. I'll tell you this real quickly. I know we're running long. It's an interesting story. We had gone down into the basement, and there was a room down there that was the old men's room.
Mhm.
And that room had, of course, all the stuff had been taken out. It was below the regular bathrooms where they are now. And there were old posters down there, old movie posters, thousands of them, all in tubes and the mailing tubes and everything, sitting upright in boxes. It had flooded down there, probably more than once. So all of these tubes, about a foot tall, were soaked and moldy and stuff like that. But we found some above the water line. And we took them out, and these were old two-sided movie posters. And that's how you could tell a movie poster is real.
Real.
It was
Yes.
two-sided because it was made to be in a light box
Yes.
that illuminated it through the back, and it gave it a dimension that you
Right.
couldn't get any other way.
Right.
So we found probably 20 or 30 of them and brought them up. And I told Cindy, I said, take them home, research them, find out what they're going for, price them, and we'll resell them. So I said, okay. So Cindy came up to me probably 2 weeks later. She said, I noticed you were down in the poster room. I said, no, not recently. Why? She says, on top of all those other posters were another 20, 35 posters
What?
just laying on top. Honest to God, just laying on top of everything. And so we went down, and I said, well, we must have missed them.
How did we miss those?
Well, yeah, and that was the only explanation I could
Mhm.
come up with. This was in the first few weeks of us owning the theater. So we gathered those up, took those home. Every 2 to 4 weeks after that, we'd go down there and we'd find anywhere from 20 to 40 posters sitting on top of all of those old ruined posters that were pristine, not a mark on them,
Oh my goodness.
until we had over 300 of them that ranged in price online from $30 to $600 to $900. Not a clue how. And it just kept appearing. I, at one point, thought somebody was sneaking in and doing this just to screw with us. But I thought, who's going to break into a theater, go downstairs and into an old poster room?
And put more posters there.
Yeah. And, so again, I have
It's
no clue.
Unexplainable.
We still have a lot of those posters, by the way. I'm waiting for them to keep going up.
Oh,
So
my
yeah,
goodness.
so those are things that, near as we could tell, we were accepted because, they never made anything difficult except playing with some of the bands. And every now and then, band would be playing and the outlets would go down, and then, they'd have to do something and change. So they screwed with the bands on a regular basis. But and
Which-
even had guys from the bands commenting on it,
Oh my
you know.
goodness.
So yeah, so if you get a chance, go in there. You'll see, this wonderful theater if you haven't been in there. Those seats over on the right hand side, about midway down, about H, A, F, G, H, G, and H, probably 2 seats in on those rows. You'll see those seats that we're moving, and you can go up and see the seats upstairs that don't rock.
It makes me wonder, yesterday there was more than a couple people that said they wanted to go see the theater. So maybe they've heard stories about.
A lot of people have
Yeah.
this, actually. It kind of made the rounds, especially after that old wallet was found in there.
Yes, especially after that old wallet was
Yeah,
found.
and of course we were there when the wallet
Yeah.
was found.
And that's such a cool story.
It is, and we were able to reunite it
Mhm.
with its owner from 1945.
Yeah, that's just
Uh,
incredible.
that's
That's a great story. That's
It
a great
is.
small town story.
and it got the Nevada Journal first did a
Mhm.
story about it. Then the Ames Tribune picked it up. Then KCCI picked it up.
Mhm.
Then CNN picked it up. Then
Mhm.
CBS picked it up, and it went literally around the world.
Around the
You
world.
can 71-year-old wallet found in theater. Google that,
Yeah. It happened
and
right here in Nevada, Iowa.
in Nevada, Iowa,
Yeah.
and we had Claire McIntosh. Actually, I found Claire where Claire was living down in Runnels, Iowa,
Yeah.
and invited him up. KCCI was there and videoed the whole thing, reuniting, because I had called him and was met with some skepticism. I said, "Yeah, is this Claire, McCaskill?" And he says, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, Claire," I said, "I think I found your wallet." And just silence.
Silence.
And I said, "Let me explain," because I know what's going through his mind at that point in time. He says, "Well, I didn't lose my wallet." I said, "Well, let me explain. My wife and I own the theater up in Nevada, Iowa." And he stopped me. He says, "Was it plastic?" And I said, "Yes, sir, it was." And he says, "I lost that in 1945. And inside of this wallet were not food stamps, but war stamps for
More
tires
stamps.
and gasoline
Yeah.
and a Boy Scout card, his Boy Scout registration card, and 2 of those little pocket calendars
Mhm.
from 1944, 1945. And it said, 'If found.' returned to Claire Gaskell,
Macintosh.
McIntosh. I'm sorry. Thank you. Claire McIntosh. In Colo, Iowa, phone number 8.
I was just gonna say, yes.
Yeah. Colo, Iowa, phone number
8.
8. So, and that really hit you at that point in time,
Yeah.
just, so it was great. Claire was 85 years old, spry as a 10-year-old. He runs 3 to 5 miles a day.
Probably.
He's probably still alive.
Well, and he's probably running after that guy that was riding the bicycle.
Yeah.
They're probably friends.
They're probably friends.
Oh,
So,
my goodness.
we've got a lot of stories like that
Yeah.
from the theater. That's just wonderful.
Leads me right into our dad joke for the day.
Please do.
What did
Take 2.
Take 2. What did the tomato say to the other tomato that was running in the race?
Oh, I know this. I give up.
Ketchup.
Wah, wah, wah. Oh, hey, we want to thank you for letting us into your home or your
Putting
car
up with us today.
or your computer.
Yeah.
We did run long, but we're enjoying ourselves.
we're having a
So
good
hopefully you enjoyed it as
Hopefully
well.
you did too.
We want to thank Sweet Dreams Mattress Center for giving us a home. We want to thank Bricktown Bakery. And we didn't mention it yet. We're going to do it on the way out. The Lions Club.
The
They were
Lions
downtown
Club.
yesterday and had a Jiffy peanut butter crunchy and 2 spam characters
spam characters.
walking through the crowd in costume. So
So you might have gotten spammed here in Nevada if you had been here.
what a great way to get spammed.
Yeah, what a great way to
The
get
Peaches sale is over. The 24th tomorrow, I think they
Is
come
when
out
they-
and you can start picking them up.
Come up.
And if you can still buy the flags for your front yards, $75 a year. You do nothing. They do all the work. If it wears out, they replace it. $75 a year. Be a patriot and help the Lions Club out because that money goes into their funds. So we do want to thank you, and we want to thank everybody for tuning in.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
And thanks for all the comments. Please continue.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we love it. And please like us
Yeah.
and follow us. We're over 500. I think we're 505 followers
That's
now.
terrific.
So, and we are live. So our shows will come to you Monday through Thursday at noon and on Fridays at 1. So you can count on us now. You can start tuning in and look for us and you will hear firsthand. And of course, you can go out and pick it up off the Facebook page
Yes.
and all the other pages that we distribute to. So thank you again. We are Nevada, Iowa Live. I'm Larry.
I'm Mike.
And we want to wish you guys sweet dreams. So take it away.